Mr. Minnick back again for part 2 of my VB board game help video. Well, just to recap, we have this program that when you execute it, there are 7 board game squares arranged the way I designed them. And when you click the dice cup here, it rolls a random number, and only player 1 works right now, which is the blue player. Red is permanently disabled. More about that later in this video probably. And every time you run the program, it always rolls a 1. And I meant for that to happen. See, 1. So right now we're just testing this as we go. Let's go look at the code. Okay, review. It's always nice to shrink up your methods like this. You know, zing, zing. It's always nice to do that. You can see the big picture. Hey, look, 3 module level variables. Not the best, but they have wide scope, and that can be a handy, good thing. Then we have these methods, like form load, where this is commented out. Watch the earlier video to understand why I put an apostrophe there. Then we have form paint, which has my 7 draw rectangles. You need to have 15 or more. And I did number them from 0 up. It's very crucial that you start at 0. I have 2 special squares. You eventually need 3 or more special squares for an A. And if you want to, you can use fill rectangle or draw rectangle and decorate other things in there with like a string or 2, like a word or a phrase, like the word back. Okay, so that's that. Hopefully you did that by now so that you can continue with this video. Okay, the fun happens when somebody clicks that picture box. So let's examine that code. Now this is my gift to you, but I want you to understand this code. Well, I went in and I disabled the getRandom1,6 function. I took that out of play, and I hard-coded my algorithm with a 1. That's why it's rolling a 1 every time. And I furthermore went and added resources to this project explained elsewhere in my website or the earlier video, and I put in graphics that I got from the internet and just hope that I won't be sued, because it probably is illegal to redistribute those graphics. You can always make your own graphics, and that's that. Well, we get back to this if, which is bringing in these 6 graphics individually depending on what dice roll I'm making. So let's have some fun with this. Let's change the dice roll to 2 and pretend that, well, not pretend, but make it always roll a 2. Yep, that's the right graphic that matched the roll of a 2. Let's hard code the variable dice roll, set it equal to 3, run the program, click the dice cup, and yes, there is the dice 3 graphic, which just trust me, this graphic here does have 3 little pips on it, and so on. So if you want to, you can get creative with this project and change the look of your dice or use a spinner or something else. Okay, so that's that if statement, which we don't have to explain further. Now the hard part. This if does whatever I tell you it does here in the green. It updates the game board position and toggles the player turn. Let's focus in on what's happening here in the if. If player turn equals 1, in other words, if it's player 1's turn to move, then I add in whatever he just rolled on his dice to where his square was before. If he was at square 0 and he rolled a 1, where should he be now? Square 1. Let's test it. Yes, this is considered square 1. Keep in mind that this is square 0. Let's hardwire it for a 2 and make sure that he lands on 2. Ready? Test. Okay, here comes the roll of a 2. Oh, but he landed on the special square, so temporarily he is here on a 2. Pay attention, please. But when I click this message box, 2 plus 3 does add up to 5, and just trust me, this is square 5. On your graph paper, you should have a little 5 written in wherever your square 5 is. Now, it's really the 6th square. considering the fact that this is the 0 square. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if you count starting at 1. I know it's a little tricky, but figure it out. Okay, back to the code. I'll let it up to you as an exercise to test the dice rolls of 3, 4, 5, 6. Eventually, you're going to have squares up to like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, etc. So you will have to put numbers in there bigger than that to test the positions. I'm not done yet. Then, after we move that player to where his dice roll is, we then change it to the other player's turn. So there's this variable called player turn that's either 2 or it's 1. It's used to help keep track of which player's turn it is in this code segment. So just trust me, you can trace this on your own, but that's necessary. And it would be nice to tell the people whose turn it is with a little message on the screen. Bet you didn't notice that. This is such a user-friendly game that down here it tells the people whose turn it is. That's the kind of thing that makes an app worth 99 cents. Nice little feedback like that. Okay, now it gets tricky. This right here is a call statement. It's calling the private sub and sub. It's calling the method update player positions. I created that and put it in this project. Right here it is, update player positions. Let's unshrink it so that we can see what it does. It's one big if, else if, else if, else if, else if. And there's another if, else if, else if that's temporarily commented out. That's player 2. We'll get to that much later. Let's just get this working for player 1. Think about it. If player 1's square is 0, that means his left and top edges should be right about here. Right about here. Because that is square 0. In other words, follow with me. Left equals 35. The left edge of this blue is at 35 on the x-axis. Tom, where is the y, or where is the top edge over here on the y-axis? Where's the top edge, according to this code, where's the top edge of this blue? Quiet with the door. 55, correct. Now let's crank it up a notch. If I rolled a 1 and landed here on square 1, where should the left edge, where should the left edge of the blue, roughly, where should the left edge of the blue be? 65. Correct! 65. Somebody else now. That was Dom again, just for the record. Somebody tell me where the top edge should be. Somebody raise their hand like a good student. Leah! 85. Say it confidently. Don't say is it. Say it is 85. Good job. Okay, if I roll a 2, Lauren, this is tricky. If I roll a 2 with this board layout, where should my left edge of the blue player 1 be if I roll a 2 at the beginning of the game? Tricky. Tricky. Where should,
If you roll a what?
if I roll a 2?
Oh, you wait. No, you moved it.
That thing, you're gonna be like at like 1.
You're gonna be at the fifth square.
Okay, we are taking this video offline. Okay, the question that we had to settle was, what happens if you roll a 2 right from the beginning of the game? Well, you really go here temporarily, but then because of the +3 special squareness, you should land here. So look at the code in this section of the else if. First, I land pick player with the left edge at 155. But then after adding, oh, that's the wrong special square. Sorry. Right here. If rolling a 2, if landing on square 2, I meant to say, I first land his left edge at 95. But then I add 3 to his positioning, which means he should be on square 5, which apparently sends his left edge to 155. In other words, his left edge being here is 95, but that's just temporary because when he does the +3, his new left edge is roughly here, which is 155, if I had graph paper measured out here. You need to figure this kind of stuff out for your project because everybody's is different. And you need 3 special squares or more. Hey, what if he lands on the start, on this back? Well, somebody was paying attention here. Bryce, what square number is this red filled in square? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Let's scroll down and look at my square 4 area right here. So when he lands on square 4 in bright red, this is where he is temporarily. But then I say, sorry, you must go back to the start, which is 3555. What a coincidence. 3555, square 0. I spent some time setting this up. This was not easy. I had to lay it out on graph paper and test it out square by square. This is probably an hour's worth of teacher time, which might be like 5 hours worth of student time. Use this as a starting point. You need to now fix your squares 1 through 6, but then you need to add 10 or more squares. Here's what you might be doing in the next hour or 2 of work. Copy paste this ELSIF right here. Copy it and paste it in right below square 5. Change this 5 to a 6. And then change this.
Wait, hold on for a second. Go a little bit slower.
So as I was saying, you need to copy and paste the ELSIF here, paste it in here, then change the square number to what you're up next to. Get it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And change the left and the top to what they need to be for that square. I will make a special point about this last ELSIF. That one, you should probably change this to like 60 temporarily. Make that a ridiculously high number. And just copy and paste the last ELSIF. And as you go, test the program by landing it on each square that you need to test. Change this to perhaps 7. No, 6. No, I'm sorry, 7. If I roll a 7, 7 added to 0 means that I'm on square 7, which means that this ELSIF right here would kick in. Nope, I have to copy paste that and make a 7. And then test your program so that he lands on 7. Oh, why is 7 still landing him on square 6? Oh, because I did not add more, I did not change this 155, 145. So this might need to be like 180. And this might need to be like 165 perhaps. Now let's see how this program works when I roll. See, let's pretend that that was square 7. I only have 6 squares. That's a square number 6. So I need to add more squares to this to make this video, more understandable. But that's essentially what you're doing. You're copying and pasting this ELSIF, adding it, and as you go, change these numbers and test them before you add the next one. Now let's talk in closing, one last minute on this last ELSIF. This is where you do wind detection. The last ELSIF is wind detection. It's where you either say in a message box or a label that the guy won the game, and you send him to that last square, of course, but you do an exit sub. That is like a break statement. It kicks you out so that the other player doesn't keep going. Game's over, buddy. Don't bother rolling the dice. I'm out of here. Losers walk, winners talk. That was my saying back when I won all the time in sports in high school.
Chess champ.
Chess, yeah, pretty much only in chess. I lost in every sport I ever played because I wasn't coordinated. But in chess, I could beat everybody in school, Actually, oh, it's still recording. Okay, so that is exit sub. That needs to be there at the end. You'll need to change this number to whatever your board game layout has. That's okay. Brian Mel, may you be watching this video, and I beat you more times than you beat me. So take that.